People have always seen Rick Harrison, the founder and operator of Pawn Stars, as a mentor, brother, or man who stood up to protect and defend Chumlee during their years on the show. What viewers saw on screen was a close-knit team dealing with the ups and downs of their work together, especially Rick and Chumlee's close relationship. But after a long silence, Chumlee finally spoke out. What he said wasn't just a few simple complaints, but a devastating explosion. A shock that completely destroyed the team. Chumlee's words forced fans to face a harsh reality. His relationship with Rick was never a true friendship, as many had imagined. Instead, it was a brutal power play, in which Chumlee was just a pawn that could be thrown away when he was no longer useful. What fans once saw as a close-knit family and Pawn Stars now raises the big question: was this relationship really part of a business plan, or just exploitation? If you're interested in this story, don't forget to hit like. If you want to see more videos about the hottest stories in show business, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the music story of Rick Harrison, the man in charge of Gold and Silver Pawn. He either helped Chumlee through his darkest times or stood still as the man who helped build a crumbling legend. What's about to happen could change the way you see the stars forever, but this is just a theory. What is the real truth? Should you be brave and look deeper? When Pawn Stars first aired in 2009, no one thought that a reality show about a pawn shop in Las Vegas would become a worldwide hit. What surprised even more people was that viewers were most interested in the dynamic and playful chemistry between Rick Harrison, the sad shop owner, and Austin "Chumlee" Russell, the clumsy but lovable employee. Rick is the mastermind behind Gold and Silver Pawn, but Chumlee is the heartwarming laugh. Pawn Stars isn't just about antiques, it's also about friendship and a quirky but close-knit family. But is it really like that? Did Rick Harrison really see Chumlee as family, or was he just a supporting character made to make the show more interesting? More importantly, when did this seemingly unbreakable bond start to weaken? Chumlee couldn't deny that fans loved him every time he came on screen, whether he was pulling a silly prank or messing up a deal over a worthless item. People couldn't help but admire Chumlee's jewelry, but over time most people noticed something subtle. Chumlee's presence cut down on the long comedic scenes and familiar antics. At first, fans thought it was a change in the script to freshen up the show, but more careful viewers noticed something odd. It wasn't just less screen time. The chemistry between Chumlee and Rick had changed. Where Rick used to laugh helplessly at Chumlee's silly stunts, he seemed a bit frustrated but playful. There was a big question. Is Rick and Chumlee's relationship still strong? Are they really close? Or are they just co-workers playing their parts for the camera? Rick Harrison often said that Pawn Stars was raw reality that wasn't scripted. But everyone knows that reality TV is still TV, and everything is staged to attract viewers. Chumlee was made into a clumsy, likable guy with a good heart, but no matter how much people liked him, he was never a Harrison. Rick Harrison's grandfather started Gold. It was passed down to Rick's father, Richard Harrison, and then to Rick's son, Corey, after Richard Harrison's death. Chumlee, on the other hand, was just an employee, no matter how much fans loved him. That's the key point. While Rick talked on air about friendship and unity, the truth was much harsher. Chumlee wasn't family as the show went viral and made a lot of money from ads and auctions. Rick Harrison and his close circle were the ones who benefited, not Chumlee. Chumlee isn't as clueless as he seems. He was smart when it came to money. He realized that he was still entertaining the crowd but wasn't getting paid enough, so he demanded a bigger piece of the pie. He was tired of being the fool in the palace and wanted to be seen as an important player. The problem is that the show didn't need Chumlee to do well. His humor was a bonus, but it was Rick, the artifacts, and the deals that made it a success. If a companion becomes too demanding, the easiest thing to do is to cut down on their screen time. Rick's reputation as a smart businessman who always buys low and sells high with huge profits hides the backstage dealings that happened as Chumlee's fame grew. Rick may have seen him less as a friend and more as a threat. If Chumlee became too famous and influential, Rick could start his own show with a huge following and rein him in. So, was the friendship between Rick and Chumlee real, or just a TV trick meant to look real for the viewers? Chumlee must have thought about it for a long time, and thought about this. If Rick saw him as a friend, why did he tease him so much on screen? If Rick saw him as family, why wasn't there any support when things went wrong in real life? That's why Chumlee quit Pawn Stars. Not because he was bored, but because he knew he would never really be a Harrison. When your value drops, people who call you friends will leave you without a second thought. But this is just the start of the real story. The growing rift between Rick and Chumlee deepens over time. Chumlee was once the heartbeat of Pawn Stars, loved for his innocence, humor, and genuine friendliness off-screen, but his life wasn't as glamorous as fans thought. In the years that followed, he dealt with major upheaval, including personal scandals, legal issues, and the painful reality of being left by the people he trusted the most. Rick Harrison shocked everyone by calling him family, but he chose silence. Is Rick really trying to avoid Chumlee's problems, or is he hiding something? Chumlee became a big star after more than a decade on Pawn Stars. The show's success brought him fame and money, but fame also comes with temptations. He embraced a more glamorous life, which included too much partying and friends who weren't always there for him. People who work in the entertainment industry know that fame can lift you up, but if you lose control, it can bring you down. Sadly, Chumlee fell into that spiral in 2016. The entertainment world was shocked when news of a police investigation shocked everyone. When Chumlee's home was searched, suspicious items were found, shattered his previously innocent image. Fans were shocked, but most importantly, Pawn Stars and his longtime co-workers didn't do much to defend him. When the scandal broke, all eyes were on Rick Harrison. People expected him to stand by Chumlee, but he only offered vague support. Rick didn't say anything to defend or explain Chumlee's difficult situation, and Pawn Stars kept filming as if nothing had happened, and Chumlee's name faded. Many people took this as a gut punch because he had been a rock and brought in a lot of viewers, but during the crisis, Rick kept quiet. Did Rick just not want to get involved? Or was he staying out of it to protect Pawn Stars' reputation? In a short interview after the fallout, Chumlee hinted, "I lost trust in some people that everyone knows." It's possible that he wasn't talking about strangers, but old friends who joked with him on air but turned their backs when he hit rock bottom. But there's no direct confirmation. Many people think that Chumlee was thinking of Rick Harrison. Chumlee may have hoped that Rick would come back or at least not turn him down, but reality showed him that he couldn't. This may have been a harsh lesson for Chumlee to learn. Pawn Stars isn't a family. It's a valuable business machine. You get in trouble, you're out. This isn't new in reality TV, where business often comes before friendship and camaraderie, but when the scandal hit, they would leave anyone to save the brand. Rick Harrison. As a seasoned businessman, shop boss Rick knew that defending Chumlee could hurt Pawn Stars' reputation, which was a risk he wouldn't take. However, Rick didn't completely cut him off. Chumlee appeared in a few episodes after the storm, though he wasn't the main character. This could mean that Rick didn't completely cut him out, or it could have been a way to appease fans who still supported Chumlee without hurting the show's reputation in some way. One thing is for sure, after the trial, Chumlee never regained his former prominence on Pawn Stars. During his darkest days, he faced broken trust, media scrutiny, and an uncertain future. Could he rise again and reclaim his place in the spotlight, or will he forever be just a memory of Pawn Stars? The most important question is whether Rick really left Chumlee, or is there something else he hasn't said? The answer may surprise us. After years of friendship, laughter, and endless teasing on TV, Chumlee and Rick Harrison were the beloved Pawn Stars duo. But when the storm hit, Chumlee's reputation fell apart, and the news was filled with rumors about whether Rick Harrison was a true friend or a ruthless businessman willing to dump anyone for the sake of the brand. For the first time, Chumlee spoke out, and what he said could change how fans view Rick Harrison for years to come. For viewers, Pawn Stars wasn't just a reality TV show, it was a family. If you find this story interesting and want to know more, leave a comment with the number 1. If not, leave a comment with the number 0. Even after everything he's been through, Chumlee has a very different story to tell. In a rare interview after the fallout, he said, "I used to think we were a family. Turns out we were just numbers on a balance sheet." This hit fans like a lightning strike, revealing not only hidden truths but also a feeling of betrayal. He talks about how, after the chaos broke out, he waited for a call from Rick to give him a little reassurance that he still belonged there. When he finally reached out to Rick, he replied, "We have to do what's best for the show, not what a friend or boss would say." If Rick really saw Chumlee as family, why was there no defense? Some might say that Rick was just protecting the Pawn Stars from the fallout with Chumlee, but Chumlee felt like he was stabbed in the back. If the show was all that mattered after more than a decade of loyalty, then what Chumlee said after the SC Handle producers cut his screen time? It was the worst part, that Rick didn't step in and say, "I've been here from the start and helped make this show what it is, but when I needed someone, I was left alone." That might have been the most painful realization for him. He was never really a part of Pawn Stars in the way he thought he was. Chumlee was the key to the show, not because he was an expert on history or antiques like Rick or Corey, but because he was funny and relatable. When the scandal hit, why didn't Rick stand by him? The harsh answer is that Chumlee wasn't the show's main attraction anymore. Sure, his humor was fun at first, but as the show went on it became a global brand with or without Chumlee. If he became a burden, all that had to be done was to fire him. Maybe Rick feels torn, but he has to put the show's future first. Insider rumors say that Rick has had private talks with producers to safely bring Chumlee back, but the truth has Rick briefly addressed the issue, saying that everyone makes mistakes, and what they do next defines them. But there's no way forward for Chumlee, because one side is still deaf to the hard questions. After all the days at Pawn Stars were over, Chumlee focused on his own business ventures, opening a store to rebuild his image. But the scar of realizing that Pawn Stars was never really a family still lingers. He ended his friendship with Rick. Even though he never said that Rick betrayed him, his words point to a harsh relationship. If fame and money put too much pressure on relationships, Rick might never fully tell the story, or bury it forever. Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, this has changed Rick and Chumlee's relationship forever, and it may never heal. Since the first episode of Pawn Stars in 2009, fans have seen Gold and Silver Pawn as a family hub, where everyone worked, laughed, and made memories together. Rick Harrison was the brains, Corey was the heir, and Chumlee, though a bit dull, was the soul. There has been a quiet power struggle going on inside the shop, and Chumlee may have become a victim of a system he never had control over. From the start, Chumlee was the target of jokes and labels that he wasn't as smart as the others. Rick called him a fool several times, and Corey made fun of his lack of knowledge about history or antiques. These were funny moments, but they were also signs that Chumlee was never really respected as a core cast member. In a 2016 interview, he hinted that he felt like he wasn't, "People think I'm just funny, but I know my job, they just don't show that on TV." It's not just a confession. What fans see in Chumlee on Pawn Stars may not reflect the real person. What fans see is a character shaped for the script. Rick Harrison is not only the boss of the shop, but he also has a huge impact on Pawn Stars. He decides who gets screen time, what they say, and who Corey sees as his son. Chumlee is good for TV, but he has no power in the shop's new rumors say that Rick has been limiting Chumlee's power. Insiders say that Chumlee suggested new ideas for the show, but Rick turned them down, saying that the formula works and Rick won't risk the brand. First and foremost, Rick is a businessman. He'll do what's best for the show. If Chumlee stops fitting in, Rick wouldn't hesitate to fire him. Chumlee isn't someone who lacks ambition. After years of working for Pawn Stars, he opened Chumlee's Candy on Blurb to prove himself. Caused tension with Rick. There are rumors that Rick didn't like Chumlee building his brand without him. In recent episodes, Chumlee's screen time has been slowly decreasing, which fans see as a silent punishment from Rick. When asked about it, Rick awkwardly avoided answering. "I've learned to separate my business from the show, it's better that way." Fans used to believe in the story of the Gold and Silver Pawn family as a crew that stood together, but now questions have been raised. If it was a family, why didn't Rick protect Chumlee during his hardest times? People have asked why Chumlee didn't have a voice on the show and why Rick Harrison kept making fun of him instead of letting him really shine. The truth is that Pawn Stars isn't a family. It's a brand, it's a business, and Rick Harrison is in charge. Chumlee helped make the show a hit, but he never had control over his own fate there. What will happen next? Will Chumlee accept Rick's power or fight for his voice? Only time will tell. One thing is for sure, the power struggle at Gold and Silver Pawn is far from over if Chumlee speaks up louder. Chumlee's words have shattered the legend of Pawn Stars' camaraderie. Fans are in a frenzy and the media is all over Gold and Silver Pawn. But despite all the chaos, Rick Harrison stays silent. He doesn't respond. He doesn't clarify or deny Chum's claims. He doesn't do any interviews, and he doesn't post anything on social media. As the scandal plays out, people either fight back or let it go. Rick chose to let it go. Why, if Chumlee was wrong? Why didn't he defend his honor quickly? Why didn't he clear it up right away as an admission? Some fans have watched old episodes to try to figure out what happened between Rick and Chumlee and if it was real or just a show to make money. They can see that Rick never treated Chumlee like an equal. Rick Harrison is a seasoned businessman who is not only the face of Pawn Stars but also runs his empire, which includes the shows and the merchandise. Many people say that Chumlee's awkwardness and charm helped the show grow. He added humor to Rick and Corey's serious situations, but his role never went beyond that of a clown. "They needed me to be the funny guy and I played my part well," Chumlee said years ago. Now it makes me wonder if Rick really saw Chumlee as a friend or just as a way to keep the show going. The media and fans are both disappointed by Rick's silence. If he really saw Chumlee as a friend, why didn't he defend him all these years, only to wash his hands of the situation? When the truth came out, we thought Pawn Stars was a family, but now it looks like it's just a money-making machine. The more questions that come up, the more suspicious Rick's silence seems. Another theory is that he is trying to make the right move, but a strategist like him wouldn't act. Without a plan, this could be a way for him to wait for the storm to pass before speaking out. But he can't keep quiet forever. The longer he does, the more pressure he'll be under to save Chumlee's story and his own reputation. Rick needs to speak out before it's too late. Pawn Stars is a reality TV titan, but every empire has its flaws. In this case, it's the truth behind the scenes. Now that Chumlee has broken the silence, all eyes are on Rick. What will he do next? Will he face the music or hope it goes away? Pawn Stars has changed forever, but one thing is for sure. Chumlee is facing the worst crisis of his life after his shocking announcement caused public outrage and Rick Harrison's strange silence. He has to figure out what to do next. Is this the end of a legendary show or the start of a new story? As Chumlee's comments go viral online, opinions quickly split. Some praise him for facing the truth after years of being sidelined, while others call him ungrateful for burning the bridge. For personal reasons, Chumlee spoke out against Rick, showing his cold side. We know he's a businessman, but this is too much to believe. Some people said Chumlee did this without Pawn Stars, and he's nothing without it. Not just the business, but also the betrayal. Chumlee has stayed silent, but he can't do that forever. Rick Harrison is a professional, and he has the power of the media. He has stayed silent so far, but is this the smart move? Rumors say that Rick's P-team is planning a big move, possibly, and even though he hasn't said anything, his silence only makes people want to know more. Is he hiding something? Or is he just over Chumlee? Media experts say that if Rick doesn't speak up soon, he risks losing the trust of his fans. Pawn Stars may still go on, but if Rick and Chumlee can't get along, the show will never be the same. History shows that reality shows often get worse when key characters leave, but with new cast members the show can get better. Rick could change the show's format and bring in new contestants to fill Chumlee's spot, but Chumlee's departure has brought up a bigger question. Is Pawn Stars still the show that fans loved? Arguments on social media, especially on Reddit and Instagram, have split the community into two camps. One side defends Chumlee, saying that he is the show's soul, and the other side supports Rick, saying that he can't let his feelings affect business. This uproar makes people question the legitimacy of Pawn Stars, and Rick, Corey, and Chumlee built Pawn Stars, but now that one of the show's main characters is gone, where will it go from here? Rick is running the gold and silver pawn shop without saying a word, even though the pressure is building. Usually the best thing to do is to stay quiet and wait for the storm to pass, but will this work in this case? Fans keep wondering if Pawn Stars can go on without Chumlee, even though Rick has the business sense to keep the show going. Pawn Stars is at a crossroads. Will the show be able to get through this crisis and grow, or will it be the start of the end for a decades-long empire? One thing is for sure. Pawn Stars will never be the same without Chumlee. The show will lack the entertainment and connection he brought to the fans. Chumlee could go his own way with a YouTube channel to share his unfiltered story, or even a new reality show. There are rumors that networks are interested in picking him up, have offered him a one-man show about life after Pawn Stars, and he could also fix his reputation and business without Pawn Stars. There's still a small chance that Rick and Chumlee could fix their rift if they talked about their problems. The story between Rick and Chumlee isn't over yet. If they want to, they could still save their relationship, but it depends on Rick's behavior. He's very stubborn and won't easily give up. Chumlee may have gone too far in pretending nothing happened, but their story is still going on. The story is still developing. If this video surprised you, please like, share, and leave a comment below to let us know what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.